Hello, and welcome to Being True, Being Me. This time, join me in setting up my bullet journal for 2021, or at least for the following 6 months. And I know, you may say it is a bit late to set up a bullet journal. I mean, it is March, right? But hey, isn't that exactly the biggest advantage of this type of journaling? The flexibility? Nothing predated, nothing pre-printed. If you skipped a month because nothing important was happening, who cares? The system allows it, so use it the way you need. Oh, and do believe me, that I had a hard time convincing myself that this system works, when faced with some beautiful printed planners on the internet. Now I'm happy I resisted the urge to buy one, since I know that even as they are trying to implement a great variety of spreads for you to use, the trackers, the meal planners, future logs, and more, it still isn't quite enough for me. I need the space, the freedom, to scribble things down, knowing it would have little effect on the system, to be able to use an entire page for writing if I need it. It happens that interesting ideas come to me when least expected, leaving me with the fact that I have two options. The first being to immediately jot it down somewhere. The second one is telling myself not to forget, taking the risk of losing the idea altogether. From my own experience, following the second option ends in forgetting totally most of the times. Later on, I might realize there was something I was supposed to remember, but I'm clueless on what it was. So the first option it is. It has to be, if I ever want my ideas to stick with me for more than a few fleeting moments. Still, I find it tremendously interesting how the inspiration comes to me. It could be when I'm walking, observing something, seeing a sign, making me stop and take out my notebook. You can't quite fit these entries into a regular printed planner, or at least I can't. The setup is very minimalistic. I didn't want to over-exaggerate it, not with the designs, and especially not with the colors, choosing a light gray as the only one I used. Maybe it is only my thing, but I found myself becoming rather tired of overly colorful spreads that were meant for the entire year. I need them to be simple, and that they will do their job. Year at a glance. Or not exactly a year at a glance, since there won't be all 12 months, but only 6. From my own calculations and gathered knowledge on how quickly I get to the end of a notebook, I know the chance of this one lasting the whole year is pretty slim. Existent, but slim. Despite my beliefs that this spread isn't exactly necessary, at least in my case, it became a habit to make one over the years. And let's be honest, if I don't mess it up, it makes for a good overview. This spread, on the other hand, is very useful. I always need to write down something that will happen in the future, and this is the perfect space. Besides, I fell in love with its total simplicity. Adding the hand-lettered month signs on the side just might have made it my favorite spread of this setup. This double page gave me a headache. Well, not exactly a headache, but you get the idea. I had a vision in my head, inspired by someone else on the internet, only to realize their journals must be a bigger format, and having the standard A5, there was no chance to squeeze it in there. So, alterations had to be made, in my mind and on the paper, leading to this. A column for names and a column for months. Each month represented by the first letter. Overall, I think it turned out pretty decent and neat looking. The system is simple. You write a name in the first section, then find the proper month in the second section, and write the number of the day of their anniversary. I am terrible with remembering birthdays and other important days, so this spread is an absolute necessity in any of my planning systems. I used to have these spreads in my journal, probably a couple years ago. Then for some reason, I haven't done them in the following planner, even though I do believe them rather useful. But I remembered right in time to put them here. Nothing fancy really, but functional. To watch. Having two sections, one for movies and the other for series. To read, a designated space where to write the titles and then the author's name. Later I realized I haven't thought of how to distinguish whether I have already read the book, so I might be adding some symbol next to the chart in the future. As goes for the quote page. I'd had prepared something else entirely. Originally, I'd selected a poem to be placed here. It was a really nice one, though I wasn't quite sure how to style it, ending in changing my mind the very last second, opting for a single word to accompany me this year, becoming a reminder. Not that much to throw myself into some adrenaline sports. No, more to try to stand up for myself more. To do things I believed right, and not be swayed by opinions of others. In different words, it is there to remind me to be brave enough to be myself. Now let's have this one last look. Honestly, I am very, very, very happy with how this all came out. Simple, and yet with a decorative touch. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and held it out this long, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.